Storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the bass line is about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. What's up? Good morning. We are live, counting down the hours until we get Hurricane Ian, right? So I showed Louie yesterday. I figured a lot of y'all like to come here and stay calm, and a lot of y'all love our little dog, so we're going to really quick intro and get right into all the latest. I promise I'm not going to do a lot of haze and hellos like usual. But some of that video right there, somebody just asked, that was her Tropical Storm Ada here at home, Pinellas County. I took all that footage. Tropical storm off our coast. Didn't even make landfall here. And we had all that flooding. It was pretty intense. So, all right, so everybody's anxious. I understand that. Everybody's wanting to know, where's it going? Where's it going? You know, we're at the point now that we trust the. I got to turn my phone off. I get 5 bazillion alerts every 2 seconds. This is where we got to start trusting the National Hurricane Center and following their models, following their guidance. They're the pros. You know, before the storm, we like to speculate when the next storm's going to be. I like to show future stuff, but you know, when we're a day or two out here, it's pretty much at the balls in their court. So this could be the last live, maybe. You know, we have evacuations here in Pinellas County, ABC. I know there's evacuations up and down the West Coast. So there's a lot of people evacuating. And we'll just have to sit back, watch, wait, and see now. I'm going to talk about the latest trends, a little tick south. The latest euro came back a little tick north. It's really important not to overreact right now to small wiggles and wobbles. You know, that cone is there for a reason. The cone is where they expect the eye wall to go. So I'm going to get into all that. But thanks for being here. Appreciate it. My name is Mike. Obviously, Mike's Weather Page. We've been doing this a long time together, and I'm not a professional, so please refer to National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center if you need official information, okay? So let's get right into it, Hunter, okay? Go see your brother, my superstar, my little boy. We named Hunter on our show, by the way, if you're new to our page. Before he was even born, we had him named by you. That's Hunter. 3 years old now almost. All right. Big thanks to all our supporters, by the way. We got a lot of new subscribers. We appreciate that. We're going to send out all that stuff as soon as the storm's done. You're not getting anything. You're not missing anything, so don't worry. Big thanks to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. They've been with me for a long time. We have a lot of great partners. They've been sponsoring the Daily Brew for a long time. So they're in Florida watching. All the ABC employees, we're tracking this with you. ABC here in Florida, and I know they're very anxious too. So I got some graphics ready to go. This is my website, by the way. Everything that you need is right here. This little column right here. Everything you need is right there. I'll try not to click a lot. I got to get a new mouse, but all kinds of graphics. I've been adding graphics, surge graphics. I'm going to show you everything. Spaghetti models. We got live satellite key messages. Everything you possibly can need. Radar now. I have some important information about traffic. You can click on there and get live traffic reports, because now that we're evacuating, you're going to want to know the Florida roads. Know your zone. If you're still not familiar what your zone is, there you go. We're going to show you the threats and impacts map real quick. That's going to probably be the first one. I got a link to Tampa Bay National Weather Service. So a lot of good stuff. So here's what it looks like. Major Hurricane Ian crossing Cuba. Cuba does not have a lot of mountains down there. It's not expecting to weaken it much at all. It's flat. It's already popping back over to the Gulf of Mexico. So this is where we got to watch it. We got to watch it. We got to see how strong it's going to get. That's going to determine on future landfall and maybe potentially winds inland, because it does appear now it is going to go inland, and that means more effects inland, which we've been talking about. Inland effects. It's doing the classic hook east that Irma did. It's doing the classic hook east that Charlie did. The difference with this storm, which I posted early, Charlie was a little bit to the east. So the point of that matter was, Charlie might have hooked like that. With this one, hook like that. That was the point of the message. History repeats itself. This has always had that Charlie feeling vibe. This one's exiting Cuba a little bit to the west. Will it end up a little bit north of where the original Charlie went? So we're watching this thing close. Will it be a 5? Who knows? But it looks incredible on satellite, I can tell you that much. All right, here's the latest track. This is 5 a.m. We have a new track that comes out at 11. A lot of your questions can be answered right here. The winds were 125 at 8 a.m. Moving north. And here's what you got. Major hurricane expected all the way to landfall. Okay, officially expected to be a landfalling major hurricane. Okay, I know at one time they showed an H, and if you remember, if you're fans of our page, we brought this out. If it was an H here, but an M here, and we get a track change, it's going to be an M there. You remember me saying that, right? We have an M there now. A major hurricane expected. Latest track is just a tick south east of what it was at 11 p.m. And it's supposed to stop and crawl. Not good at all. We have rain estimates, some places 30, 40 inches of rain. If you remember a couple days ago, rain maps weren't catching up to this scenario at all. And I think I mentioned the H word a couple times. Remember Harvey? Well, this one is shaping up to be a serious inland flooding event. We had squall lines here yesterday in Florida, at least here in central Florida, and we had flooding locally last night, all up and down the west coast. We had all the way down to the Keys. Okay, in the Keys right now, we got a tornado watch going on. We're going to talk about that. They're getting squalls. They've already had tornado warnings in the Keys. They got power outages. It is indeed doing everything that the models were showing. Impacts last night is moving north. But anyway, hurricane warnings were extended southward now because the storm is ticking a little bit to the south. Tropical storm warnings on both sides of the state as expected. And there you go. So let's go into all the details. Here's the latest cone. Remember, the NHC stresses so much. Do not focus on this center line. So I'm going to show you the center line. They probably hate me for that. But center line. Just so you know, this is the latest official track here from the National Hurricane Center, if you're curious. That is the official center of their cone, which they say don't focus on that black line, but every news channel shows the black line, so everybody wants to see the black line. But again, you notice it's still Tampa Bay, and the cone is still wide. We're going to get a tighter cone at 11, I guarantee it. We just got 12Z spaghetti models came out. They are finally agreeing on a tighter consensus for West Central Florida. Remember, You cannot focus on the line. This storm is huge. It was 500 miles wide yesterday, okay? If you focus yourself on this line and think, oh my God, I live in St. Pete, everything's okay. The eyes still could go right over you. Don't focus on the line. And the NHC tries to let everybody know that. The effects are well outside where the potential center goes, and effects are way outside the cone itself. Just like we're seeing right now. We're having incredible weather down here. And I was on a radio station this morning down in Miami Lauderdale, and they're like, man, you were right. We're getting pounded down here. I'm like, yeah, you're going to get these squalls. Even when our storm's up here, we're going to be getting squalls down here. So, everybody's affected by this in different ways. Currently, right now, like I said, we're under a tornado watch down in South Florida. And it's going to be up into Central Florida tomorrow. So we're going to have tornado watches all the way up the coast tomorrow for the peninsula. So it's happening, folks. I mean, everything. Don't be focused on that line right now, because there's a lot more to this than just that line. You can see here the wind map too. This is an interesting graphic I started putting on my site just now, but it shows you how the wind field is expanding, right? Hurricane force winds are in the red. So technically, look, I mean, I'm not a hyper, but look, that's the width. I mean, so some storms have teeny little eye wall width. This one's probably still going to grow a little bit. There's still room to intensify. There's still some people a little worried about what it's going to do out here now that's in the Gulf, and it's going to be climbing over them warm loop eddies. So, yeah, a lot of things to watch today. Here's the latest surge map. Now, these are very tricky. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. I don't want to underestimate Tampa Bay right now, but these are official. 5 to 10, all the way from Anclote River down to Bonita Beach now. They added those just about an hour ago. So the storm surge has increased greatly for parts of the bay south to 5 to 10 foot. 4 to 7, 3 to 5, 2 to 4. So there's a lot of surge potentially coming for some folks there. That's a big area, 5 to 10 feet. We're going to see it at 11 if we get a track shift again south. Tampa Bay could be breathing a little bit sigh of relief as far as the surge goes, okay? That's something we're going to watch, but I'm not going to forecast anything right now until the Hurricane Center changes this graphic. This is it. We could see some surge 2 to 4 feet here, reminiscent of Irma. People always ask, Jackson, what about us? What about us? Well, you're going to have storms counterclockwise, flow of storms. It's going to be a large system, 500 miles wide. You're going to see squall lines coming in towards you, and that's what produced a lot of surge for Irma. So if you lived through Irma and you had surge, and this, of course, includes the St. Johns River, big problems. Ground is saturated already, and we got some rain totals coming that are like through the roof. Here is the Sierra map. Now, this is what I didn't even want to show this morning because I don't want to false sense anybody that there's going to be no surge. It's experimental. I believe, it's based on data. It's based on the track. I'm going to let the NHC handle the surge. But in theory, if we get a track change, most of your surge comes from the counterclockwise push of storms as the storm approaches. Notice where the surge now, Port Charlotte, northward. That makes sense, right? So the big question mark is this right here. I don't know at all, but common sense is going to tell us that a landfalling system right here might not bring much surge to the Tampa Bay area. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. But that's a huge change from when it was just over here. When that track was here, it was 10 to 15 feet here. That's a massive change on this model. But it doesn't negate the fact here that we could see serious surge here now south of Tampa Bay, Bradenton, Palmetto, my home birthplace, Bradenton. Maybe that's where I'll end up chasing. Holmes Beach. I grew up here. That was where I was born and raised. So now the surge has shifted south a little bit more. So we'll see. We got to wait on 11 o'clock. So that's that. And back to the comment about this could be the last slide, by the way. If things are pretty set, stone solid, I mean, I you guys are kind of, I mean, everything now is on website and kind of know, so we don't know about live tomorrow. It might be tough because most of our county is going to be evacuated, and I'm going to be out on the bout. I'm taking off in my storm chasers, so you can definitely tune in there. We're going to be streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. A lot of neighbors and a lot of friends are evacuating, so I'll be bringing to you live footage of what's happening real time. Rain map, serious rain map here. We're talking 15 to 20 inches of rain officially. This red, 10 to 15 inches of rain. That is a massive area of rain. Now, there's other models. Let me show you. Not to scare anybody. This is the Euro. There's patches of 28, 24, 25, 17, 16. So the Euro is not a bad model when it comes to rain, but I don't know, 28 inches max, somewhere it's predicted. That could be the story. That could be a story nobody even considered. Here is the Euro. Now this is this is the GFS. A slowdown. Remember, this thing's going to hit the coast, slow down. When it slows down, it's just going to rain and rain and rain. Look at the GFS. 37, 39, 37. 54 is the max. I don't know if that's over water or not, but that there's two models. The Euro GFS showing double digits, 2 feet of rain possible plus. That's always been my worry with this slowdown. Any slowdown is going to rain. So that is sneaky. Now what this does, our grounds are so saturated. Back to what I was just talking about. I just walked outside and put our lawn chairs away. That's my prep. And it's not a joke. Listen, if you're in any of these areas that could have hurricane force winds, you need to secure flying objects, chairs. I lowered my tiki umbrella. Anything that could fly. Now is the time. Put it away. I stacked all my chairs, kind of tucked them up in the pool. So you got to think. You don't want that outdoor Adirondack chair flying through your screen. But anyway, this is big time. So when I walked out there, the ground is like mush. I'm like, I don't think our ground can take any more rain. I don't know, man. It's saturated now, and it's. So anyway, there's that. All right. So we'll close that out. So here's the latest spaghetti models. These just came out. 12Z Euros. These are on Tropical Tidbits. I use all Tropical Tidbits as much as I can in weathernerds.org. So thank you to those guys. And I'm sure Miss Shelley mentioned it to y'all. I don't really have time to read comments. I only see 2 or 3 at a time, and they freaking fly by. And I got to stay on topic. Thank you to the new supporters on YouTube. They pop out big time. Nikki, you've been around forever. Thank you, Nikki. Kitchen Hero. Thank you. Got some tips, man. I really appreciate it. We're a big team here at MWP. Good morning, Yohel. Yohel, thanks for reaching out. Had a lot of people reach out about my family. They are so far good to go. My mom and dad, her mom, everybody's evacuated to Orlando area. I know Orlando might get some winds. The reason I had them evacuate is A, we're at the coast. B, we're mandatory evacuated. Makes sense, right? And C, I don't want the kids to have to experience this if they don't have to. Because it could be quite scary. You're losing power, wind, rain. It's not a fun event, trust me. There's a lot of people that are definitely, it's very traumatic. So if you're that type of person, then and you're in an evacuation zone, you probably want to evacuate. That's your decision. But my dad's 85, like I said, and Irma was only a Cat 1 going up through Lakeland. He's like, I'll never stay here again. And, I mean, if you remember Irma in Pinellas County, it was I think it was still a 1 when it was over Lakeland, but we had serious damages in Pinellas County from trees. Some places were out of power for 2 weeks here. So don't, Irma landed in Naples went right up the middle of the state. It did not weaken, and I'm not seeing signs that this one's going to weaken either. That has been my biggest question. Now it's showing a major hurricane hitting land. So they are kind of on that same thought now that this thing isn't going to weaken much. And once it gets over land, it's wet. And many lakes that we have in Florida, there's a brown water effect over the Everglades. The same thing happens up in Louisiana. That's fuel. I mean, this system isn't just, there's wind shear coming, yes, and there's dry air, yes. But the models are showing a really slow, downgrading. What do you call them? Weakening. I struggle for words here on the page sometimes. So that's the question. And what I'm saying is this. We get a system parked right here. It could still be strong Cat 1 is what I'm getting at. So, and that obviously affects a large area. So that this reminiscent of Irma, Charlie evacuations went to Orlando, and Orlando had massive problems with power and trees and roofs. So don't think running away from the coast, you're not going to get effects. I was looking for rooms down here originally, but that's too far a drive. I'm not worried about them, but just don't be thinking you're gonna not have anything happen to you. Hey, what's up, Bud Light girl? I just popped up. Thunder, what's up? I remember that day. Matthew, thank you, man. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Holy moly, you guys are great. Miss Shelly. Shelly's all casual. I'm like, you doing okay? Yeah, I'm just chilling. All right, so here's the latest models. This tropical tivots. Now, look at this. Look at this. So, first time we've seen this much tightening up of the models ever with this storm. Thank goodness, right? I mean, at least now we're starting to know it's a west central Florida storm. There's almost no ifs, ands, or buts. Central Florida. Almost guaranteed. Said it last night, say it again, casually watching. I guess if you're worried in the Carolinas, this thing is going to be weaker. There's going to be a lot of wind shear. It's going to have a lot of dry air. So the chances of this thing being anything past Florida is slim. Going to be a rainmaker, 100%. Matter of fact, there's your latest rain. Look, we're going to have a sheared system by then, and it's going to be pushing all this rain towards Carolinas, Georgia. So you're going to get rain from the front, which you can see right now. Look, check this out. This is kind of showing you these upper clouds here are getting spiraled with that approaching front. That's why all this juice is actually kind of starting to head up towards the upper coast here. See that? The outflow. But anyway, that's about all you're going to get with the rain. So here's the models again. So what we've seen here, really good consistency. This thing's slowing down, reacting. Steering currents are weak. Then it pulls back up north again. Bend that way now. Constant. The TVCN line that we focus so much on, the gray line, is a little bit south of the NHC line. Kind of indicating to me we're going to see another bump here at 11 o'clock. A little bump south. Really curious if that changes surge forecast for Tampa Bay. Still have evacuations going on. We're still expecting, hurricane force winds. It's just the surge right now is the biggest question on what we could see because of a potential track change. So that's pretty tight. We'll see. Pretty tight. Let me show you the individual model runs. There's still room for some strengthening. By the way, we got a few of them that are saying maybe just 3, but look, majority are still saying this has got room to go to a Category 4 before landfall. So that's my fear more than anything is this thing does not weaken as expected. If this thing's a Category 4 on approach, how much time does it really have to weaken, right? It's going to be going over these extremely warm loop currents that we talk about so much preseason. Loop currents are everything. Loop eddies are everything. Whoa, there we go again. Right? We always end up leaving planet Earth. So it's going over these loop currents here just a little bit, and it's going to be feeding off of this. All these moisture bands that are rotating around our system here, they're going to be feeding off of that. So, we'll see the strengthening here today. And the key there is going to be following the hurricane hunters. They're flying out there by mission after mission. They technically can't go over Cuba. Little tidbit. I don't know if they might be allowed to, but they don't do it. So I don't know the rules if it's safety or what, but they don't go over land. So they fly over water. So we'll see. It's fixing to plop over there. We're going to get some pressure readings, and we're going to see exactly what the storm's going to do. So we'll keep our eyes glued to the hurricane hunters today and see. All right, so here's the latest models. Let's show you that. So the I guess not the big news, but everybody's been talking about this little bit of west or east tick in the models. So the 6Z Euro just came out, and it kind of went back north a little bit, but didn't go much north. But it still paints, a bad picture for everybody, pretty much. There's the latest Euro. Kind of comes in, kind of turns a little north, does that stall out. This would be tomorrow, Thursday morning, 2 days from now. But that's the latest Euro. So you can't overreact to any individual model runs. You want to see trends, you want to see majority, and you want to see consistency in the models. And so far, we're just seeing little ticks south. And the NHC's been making adjustments, you must admit. This has not been, in my opinion, a very easy track system. Been a lot of confusion on this system from official spaghetti models and forecasts, because models have been all over the place. But so we'll see exactly on this one. This would be still a very bad situation for Tampa Bay. But regardless, there's too much focus on Tampa. A little tick south, we're talking Bradenton, Manatee, Sarasota are going to be getting a Category 3 hurricane. Maybe, who knows? Maybe, we don't know. You'll know today. If this thing strengthens more than is expected, you're probably going to get more than. So, I'd be really, 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 really watching this thing today, especially if you don't think it's going to become anything. Because, like I said, I've seen the damages. We've showed the damages. You do not want a major hurricane. So here's on approach tomorrow morning. Like I said, it's just reacting to that steering current. Just sits there. Oh my God, it sits there almost 2 days. Look at that. It doesn't do much. The high pressure blocks it. There you go. We'll see. That's pretty darn too close for comfort for a lot of folks. Still 960. I think it's underestimating pressure again. The Euros does this terribly. Maybe that's why it's trending a little bit more west this run, but it's not done a very good job with intensity. But weaker tends to be a little more west bias. Last night 00Z 946, believable, and it landed just south of Tampa Bay, right through the bay. And again, here's the weakening that I'm talking about. All right, let's just put it in perspective. The storm is on approach. This is tomorrow morning. We'll look at the timestamps. And this is tomorrow afternoon, 6 hours later. So 6 hours of pounding, surge. Here is overnight sitting there. So 24 hours, it doesn't move hardly at all. This is 24 hours. And then it just sits here. There's that rain. And 989 is still a hurricane over Central Florida. And people ask about individual. Listen, you get a hurricane, it rotates. You're going to have winds. You're going to have storms. You're going to have, hurricane force winds inland if this thing maintains 989. And most of these models are showing that, maintaining, possible hurricane intensity. GFS, I got to make this smaller. I got to quit zooming in and out. GFS showing 989 Central Florida on Friday at night. So we could potentially still have close to a hurricane Friday if you went by just pressures alone. The H-Wharf made a big swing here today, by the way. The H-Wharf went west, or east. God, I always screw up east and west, man. My whole life. I'm going to get this real quick. Somebody just texted me. EOC guy. Hold on a minute. I got to make sure. H-Wharf, as you know, I believe in it as an intensity model, and it's shifted. It's been the outlier for a while, running west. Now it's shifted east. This is 945 pressure. And I guess everybody just probably wants answers, right? But you can see where there's no answer. The cone is tightening up, and we're talking a big system. Hurricane force winds, by the way. Let's take a look at this. You can always go to the public advisory on the NHC, and you can get a update on winds right here, usually in the bottom. Right here. Let's see. Where are they? Here. So right now, hurricane force winds extend 35 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend out 115 miles. So 35 miles from the center. Pretty much both directions. So it's got a 70-mile wide hurricane eye. So if you're in Tampa and this thing hits south of you, 35 miles, you still get hurricane force winds. So it's going to expand. They're expecting it to expand. So the width of the winds should expand to a little larger. That's probably going to happen. All right, so the H-Wharf went a little bit east today. Landfall just north of Tampa Bay. Again, it's not a great tracking model. I guess the only significant with this is showing 945 hurricane just off the coast. Serious storm. And it did at least trend a little bit east. The H-Mon trended east also. It was trending west. The H-Mon is now trending, just south of the bay as a 954 landfalling hurricane. 954 is a old school Saffir-Simpson scale, middle of the road, category 3. So real possibility, major hurricane, minimum 3 is going to hit. And at this point, I don't think anybody Tampa Bay north is looking like a landfall right now. So it to me still looks like a Pinellas County southward to Sarasota is like the biggest threat right now. And if I had to guess, we're going to see a little tick south again on the NHC, and we're going to probably see more inland watches and warnings up. Meaning hurricane watches, hurricane warnings possibly might pop up in the middle of the state now. And I have this Weather Channel graphic, which is phenomenal. You can see it. It's got inland effects, watches and warnings all the way across the state now. So you can click on that and you can get actual inland information, which is a lot easier to see than just the old school National Weather Service graphic. So there's a bunch of models. Those are the biggies. I don't really think there's any more to show that we have a high resolution GFS. It's going to be trending a little south of the bay. Quite a bit, actually. This is the 6Z, showing pretty good jump south. 00Z. Pretty big jump north. And remember, the GFS has been making knee-jerk reactions north-south, but you can see the trend is still Tampa Bay south. I mean, that's where I would guess this thing is going. I'm thinking the surge, if I had to guess, is going to be a lot less for Tampa Bay area compared to what it was yesterday. Unless this thing stalls like the latest GFS shows, or the latest Euro. I mean, the worst case scenario would be what the Euro just showed, and it's kind of stalled, and then it kind of went up, and they're all going to slow down and go up. But the Euro just made a weird change. But you can't knee-jerk reaction on one run. Majority of these are showing a little tick to the south. So for sure, if you were living along that south of Tampa Bay there, Sarasota, Bradenton, even Venice, I'd be paying extra attention. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that, buddy. Bradenton, my home. Manatee, Marianne, you're right in the middle of it. I'm telling you. Emily, did you get up?
Yeah.
Okay. They're getting ready to evacuate. So there, what else we got? Let me show you one more map here, and I'm gonna pretty much wrap it up. I gotta prep the house here. I gotta get family going. Like I said, we're kind of in the hands of National Hurricane Center now. I don't like to make bold predictions anymore. I don't like to go outside the box. I leave it to the professionals. The only thing I'm seeing at this point is a teeny little track change south, possibly. Biggest curiosity is going to be that storm surge, because that one map shows we might not have any, but the common sense side of me says an eye wall pushed in the water could still bring in surge, even though west of center isn't showing up on that one map. That's the big question. Surge is like the unknown, and they always tell you that. Every storm's different. They're trying to figure this surge stuff out. Like, it could be terrible or it could be nothing, and that is the big unknown. Winds, I'm going to show you right now. This is the threat impact map. Now, I don't even understand this map. I know all the big dogs share it. It's from the National Weather Service. It's a, coastal threats and potential impacts. I don't think everybody's going to get this type of a map. I think people could get this type of map. So as we've seen our storm move inland, originally we started out with purple here, now we have purple here. Purple is winds potentially greater than 110. Okay? I mean, that extends to Lakeland. Now, a lot of this too, think about it, it doesn't mean it coming in off of the coast. It could mean a storm that's here and whipping, still whipping some winds this way. Those are probably wind gusts. I'm sure it's wind gusts, but anyway, the wind potential map. Red, 74 to 110. And orange is 58 to 73. So that's still high up there for potential winds. It's got my curiosity pegged. That right there is what I'm going to look at 11 to decide if I'm going to board up or not. If this thing makes a little tick south, I might take a chance and not board up. I don't know. Shelly didn't want to hear that, but if it ticks south, that means a little less wind to the north, and but it'll still show 110. I don't know what that is. A storm surge threat, big time. Purple doesn't get any higher. Potential for 9 foot plus above ground. So there you go. This is very deceiving, Pinellas County. This does not mean the whole county is going to be underwater. This is just coastal. But again, we're showing storm surge along northern Florida, southern Georgia, just like Irma. Rotating winds are going to be blowing in. Storm surge still down in the Keys, and as I showed in another map, we got storm surge to the north, south. Flooding rain, these are all the same thing. There's your flooding rain map now. Now includes everybody in the peninsula. Red. And the very rare extreme flooding rain now. I didn't notice this earlier, but that is not good. So again, everybody might see a track shift south, let's say, a little bit, 5 miles. Might think there's no impacts coming. Tampa's still going to get hurricane force winds, 100 mile an hour plus, because the eye wall's big, and this right here is bad. We're talking, like I said, we saw 30, 40 inches on the GFS. That's bad. I don't think we've ever seen rainfall like that in Florida. So we're going to be seeing what happens. That is some unbelievable amounts showing up that is consistent on the GFS and Euro, and now officially with the Hurricane Center. So extreme flooding rain. All right. Come back. And then lastly, the tornado threat. Obviously, we've already talked about that. It's higher today because we have a tornado watch. Tomorrow, expect this to expand northward. Tornado watch tomorrow will be something like that, probably. So we will have tornado watch tomorrow. And listen, these colors cover the areas that you're probably asking about. So, storms are not little. They don't pick Tampa and avoid Oldsmar. That's the beauty of it. The storm's so big that these large covering colored areas are pretty accurate. So, there's no point of worrying about a pinpointed location at this point. The storm is huge, and it's going to affect both sides of the state. I've been saying that from day one. And you can see it. Look at that sucker, man. That eye wall is clear as day. I mean, you will never see an eye wall like that over land. That's what scares the heck out of me, is that this thing's going to intensify more and only weaken a little. So if it goes to a 5, we could see a 4 at landfall. Nothing official with that either, but this is it's entering the most climatologically favorable conditions possible right now. So we're going to watch it closely. All right. So there's that. It's happening, I will tell you, we're going to see areas that are completely devastated. There's no doubt. We're going to see areas that are going to be dealing with recovery for months. No doubt. Supply chain issues. Ground saturations. Increasing power outages. Trees are going to be falling down a lot easier because of this ground situation being wet. So we're going to see more trees down. We're going to see surge levels up to 10 feet for some folks. And that's serious. Tornadoes are definitely going to be popping unexpectedly for a lot of folks now that we're into this daytime heating. Big squalls are entering Key West right now. Keys are getting ready to get a really hefty squall line. We got them brewing. This is that whole area that I've been yakking about from history. I've learned. We just get this pounding of storms. Even though the storm's over here, it just happens over here. And as our system moves up, these will do the same. So that's why we have storm surge risks north, because as our system moves up, so do the squall lines. The northwest side is probably going to get the least amount, even though our storm might do something like that. These storms have a harder time developing. Plus, we're going to be dealing with a ton of wind shear coming in from the west, and dry air is going to be trying to wrap into the system. So the northwest side probably won't get a lot at all. Charlie came through. I don't even think we had a cloud here in Tampa Bay. But let me show you what I showed earlier. I was talking to my buddy Dylan Hubbard today. He said a lot of people were confused. Let me show you. I don't think the bus just showed up, did they? So I posted this earlier. This is a graphic. This is what you do at 3:45 when you wake up and you're laying in bed. I learned one thing. The older I get, there's no more sleeping in. I remember the days being a kid and getting to sleep in, but I'm like, this morning it was 3:45. I'm like, first thing I thought of, new advisories out at usually 4:30 sometimes, But I was thinking, Charlie. Now that our storm was crossing Cuba, my biggest curiosity was history repeats itself as far as tracks over the Gulf of Mexico. So my curiosity was, Charlie, I wanted to know where it crossed Cuba. Because I figured maybe that would tell us the chance of this thing, what it's going to hook, if it followed some sort of a hook pattern like Charlie. So here's this right here with this was Ian this morning, which is about what? Here somewhere. So that was my theory. If there's nothing scientific about it, but some people caught what I was getting at. The theory was, if this was a copycat of Charlie, it would follow the same curve pattern. You know, well, I went a little too wide there actually. Now I'm looking like I'm trying to make myself look right. It's right here. So whatever that distance is, you know, that was my theory. Like, okay, just like that. That was my theory. If it followed the same type of curve. Totally different storm. I mean, come on, it's not. But that was that. If you're wondering what the heck I was getting at, that's what I was getting at. That's how my brain works. I'm like, you know. So, all right, so we have a new track here at 45 minutes. We are not waiting for that. I am wore the slap out. I really, really would love to take a nap, but I can't. South Carolina, North Carolina, just rain, coastal rain. So far, no storms. It's going to weaken. Huge front coming down. A lot of dry air. Let me show you the Euro. Thanks so much, everybody, too. This has been I mean, I hate storms, but they bring everybody together, and it generally is what I love to do. It is my summer job. I had a real job a couple years ago, and I tried to work in the summer and be as addicted as I was with the tropics, and you just can't be. You can't wake up at 3:45 and start posting models and go to bed at 11. It still have if you lose. Here's the thing. I've listened. So here's the thing, and I think this is hopefully what you guys like, because the weather. You weather nerds like me love every model run. You guys are better than I am. Like, I'll be in. Did you see the 06C? I'm like, what? Because I did this before. When I'm not 100% connected to the weather 20 hours a day, and I don't monitor every run and monitor trends, when I try to post something, if I'm not in tune, I feel lost. Like, you know, 2 days ago we were showing the rain models, right? And they weren't showing anything like this. And I said it. I'm not ever trying to be an eye guy, but we were like, hey, this is wrong. Somewhere there's a clip out there that says this is wrong. These rain totals are going to go up. And so if I just like to stay in tune is what I'm getting at. I feel lost if I don't stay in tune. But anyway, here's what it looks like. Frontal boundary. I'm not going to say lingering front ever again in my life. But as our system approaches Florida, this is the Euro. Tremendous bending going on there with this dry air. You can see this clear as day. Classic dry air intrusion. And that is our weakening process will start once this dry air wraps around our system. This is why it'll weaken, land weaken storms eventually. Dry air really weaken. Look at this dry air come whipping around. This is kind of the stuff the hurricane hunters monitor. They drop their drop zones, and they check how dry the atmosphere actually is, and they get a really good idea what that front line is up there. They know how powerful the high pressure is, and they know that is going to be wrapped up into our system eventually and cause weakening. So that's classic. And at the same time, we're going to be dealing with incredible wind shear. You can see it right here. As our system moves north, this might be a little too high up, but you can see it on the wind barbs, at least if you follow the wind barbs. They're kind of hard to see, but this indicates wind shear, jet stream. And that's just a lot of wind shear. Cannot maintain intensity forever. But it's what it does in the lower Gulf is what we got to worry about. So anyway, that's it. Listen, evacuation orders are real. A, B, C in Pinellas County. That's a lot of people. Let me find a map. Pinellas County evacuation zones. They got new ones this year. Oh God, I'm sorry, I'm tired. Here we go. Let's see. These are the old ones. I don't know if these are new ones or not. This might be the new one. This is Twitter. When was this posted? Pinellas County EM. I don't want to post old stuff. This was posted an hour ago. Okay, cool. New data. You always double check your data to make sure you don't post stuff that's wrong. But here we go. A, B, and C is evacuated. So this is, color-wise, it's red, orange, and yellow are evacuated. So look at that. So the interesting thing here with Lake Tarpon, they expect this water. Holy moly! Here's the bay, and that water goes all the way up into Lake Tarpon. All the rainwaters goes into Lake Tarpon. So there's a lot of areas around Lake Tarpon that are evacuations right now. Red area especially. And all of Oldsmar practically is evacuated. Red for sure. So there's a lot of folks evacuated. All the islands, mandatory. Red, yellow, and orange. Big part of Middle Pinellas here evacuated. A lot of people evacuated. So that's serious. They're not making that up. They don't issue evacuations. How you doing there, John Ferguson? Windstorm Products. What's up, buddy? Hope everybody's supporting our Windstorm Products. Yo, hell, I assume John's doing okay. That's good. What the heck is Caloosahatchee? Is that North Florida? Yeah, the storm's 500 miles yesterday. Mike, did the eye bump east again? Dylan James, I don't know. We're going to see little wiggles and little wobbles. It's very hard sometimes to focus on the eye because the eye it'll wrap around. Like it'll wrap around itself. So like, the center might be here, but you might have this part of the eye and it rotates around. So it's very deceiving. The eye actually does this little number, but it's actually still the one going the direction. And that's where the hurricane hunters come in and they give you all that data. They make all these passes. They're waiting on it to exit Cuba. It looks like they'll be ready on this pass, but when you see the hurricane data on Travel Tidbits, you get fixes and you get points. And when we start to see it do that, guess what? That's when Charlie made that unexpected turn. So the all-important thing to do today. Hey Hubbard, what's up, buddy? Key West, listen, you guys are under tropical storm warnings right now, I believe, right? They had tornado warnings already this morning. There's some power outages. Let's take a look at our Furman power outage tracker map. Hey, by the way, Greg or Jason on the radio show today, we were talking about generators, and I said, I'm good. I got my Furman. Puerto Rico's still 485,000 people out without power. I hate to not talk about others. Sorry, Puerto Rico. But yeah, 485,000 still without power. Florida, though, let's take a look at Florida. Starting to see it. Not a lot yet, but, it actually says none. 1,700. Miami, maybe that was it. Key Largo area, I don't know. But anyway, we'll start to see this light map up. Only 2,000 people right now. This will be the curious number right here. So remember that. 2,300 people in the state of Florida out of power right now. We'll see what it is as the storm comes. Shed, I don't know exactly what Charlie's steering patterns were, to tell you the truth. All I know is it made an unexpected turn, and stronger systems make more east turns than west. That's why the last couple of Euro runs that were a little west from everybody else, because it was showing a weaker system. It's showing a weaker system now, but it's not going to be a weaker system, trust me. My old boy Doug Beavis is on there. That's our old mayor. He hates it when I say that. The previous mayor of our great little city of Oldsmar. Oh, Fort Myers. Okay, well, hey, yeah, anybody? I mean, all you got to do is look at your watches and warnings. Remember, the east side is the worst side. Any eye wall that goes to even the Fort Myers north, you're going to get the roughest side, the dirty side. Remember, the south side of a system, when on approach to the peninsula at least, it gets the rough stuff. And, a track to the north, we get a landfall here, you're still going to get really strong squalls south of the eye. You don't get those up here because the storms are coming off the land. You get them down here. So really, anytime the eye goes to the north of wherever you're at, the closer you are to that center south, you get the bad effects. Now, some of the models are interesting. Let me show you this couple things real quick. Anyway, Mr. Beavis, I might be over there today. I want to film some stuff from the old bank. I did link. Hey, I had to do a shout out to WeatherStem. I didn't realize it, but Ed said he was a big fan of our page. WeatherStem has cameras all over the country. We have 2 of them here in Oldsmar. This one is pointing to the bay, Veterans Park. So I linked it, and I should have the streaming video up here soon. So we'll have a live streaming video. I'm tapping the desk, which you guys are hearing, I'm sure. Sorry. So I'm working that out. But anyway, there's a still shot at least. And that's it. I don't know what else I was going to talk about. Nothing. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, there you go. Tornado watches tomorrow will be extended northward. We're going to be under a big tornado watch tomorrow. This is kind of a preview of what's going to be tomorrow. This is the likelihood of the tornado watch will be in this yellow, maybe some in that dark green, but this is to come tomorrow. So you'll be waking up to more alerts on your phones. Everybody's phones went off a bazillion times already. We're going to measure this now. I had a bunch of people asking me. So if we were to do from here to here, 425, 450. It's been hovering around 450, 500. There's 500. So technically, you could say 450 to 500 miles. I'd safely say 475. Let's split the difference. Stronger storms sometimes tighten up. That's 475. So let's say 475. And notice all this convection. So this is important to show too. This is the current look, obviously, weathernerds.org. But look at these squall lines. These are what you got to watch here. These guys right here. These end up being the unexpected storms that produce tornadoes, flash flooding, rough winds, because they're whipping around the eye wall and feeding off that warm Gulf Stream water. So, that's why the East Coast, South Florida still is going to see stuff. And every year somebody's be like, I didn't think we were supposed to get anything. Well, you do. But man, all right. So the eye is impressive. I got some higher resolution stuff here on the NOAA site we can take a look at. Holy cow. I don't think these are going to zoom in too good, though. I really wanted to zoom in better than that, but that kind of gives you an idea where the eye is right now. That's just coming off of Cuba. So the important thing at this point is this: when Charlie exited Cuba, It was right here, literally dead south. It was almost like that. So in order for Charlie to, at one time Charlie had the eye going right through Tampa Bay. But when it came off of Cuba, it was directly south. So it would have had to go straight north. And going back to history, you know, these storms don't usually do that. They usually tick east. They naturally want to go east. So again, that was the point of my graphic this morning, was to think, okay, well, how close could this actually stick around Tampa Bay, you know, based on Charlie, just from history. You can learn a lot from history. And we'll see, you know, ultimately this turned. We'll see if this one turns the same amount, and do a comparison one day. You know, how much does this turn? You know, right now it's expected to do a slow turn, you know, like that. That's what the current track is. Does it do this? Does it go here and get a little turn at the last second? You know, does it start to turn early? You know, this is today where we're going to start to see key points here and see when does it turn. So every hurricane pass now is vital to who gets the actual eye. You know, we see this thing start to turn early. Guess what? It's coming south of Tampa Bay. If this thing sticks north, you know, the plots of, you know, I think they start doing hourly updates too, right? I think this is when the NHC will start doing hourly updates as the system starts to approach. But that rain forecast, man, regardless of anything, double-digit rains could just be unbelievable. Some of the future tracks where they're expected. I tell you a good site that I like to do that. I'm trying to think back. We haven't had any storms this year, so it's taking me. Oh, and I always share this NWS winds waves map, which is kind of neat. You can plug in all kinds of things that you might future see. You know, wind speed, temperature, sky cover, all that crap. Hail. But the only one that I really... oh, look at this, tropical. I linked the winds. And it loads slow. So here, I added a new link right next to it, NWS winds. And this one might be a little easier. Oh, it's the same dang link. Didn't do what I wanted. Anyway. But the one I wanted to show, I forgot all about. This one right here. Storm Products. This is a good one. This one, I believe, is the one I was thinking of. This one will at least track. Oh, they're not updating it yet. Probably because it's over land. Yeah, it hasn't updated yet. But there's some out there. But these are the expected plots, okay? This is what I'm trying to get at. We can really start to get a feel on this thing turning east, looking at expected plots. And when they update at 8 o'clock, you get a new plot. And then when you update at 11, you get a new plot. So, for example, this is where it's supposed to be at 2 p.m. today. So, I don't know. Is this an official fix? 8 a.m. Wow. See, I remember this now. Yeah, 11 a.m. is the next update. We are, God, if this is the truth, we're definitely going to see a shift south. So if I was Sarasota, Bradenton, Palmetto area, even south of that, I'd be taking this a little more serious, to tell you the truth. We don't know if it's a wobble, but there's a current eye on radar. But they got safety here because of their eye, but Venice, Port Charlotte, Sarasota, this thing could be tricky. So at this point, I don't think we're going to see any shifts to the west. The only thing the Euro was showing was this thing coming up close and then doing that stall and just hanging out right here. So we'll see. Shift east coming. Almost feel it in my bones. But once it gets over water, we'll know a lot more. Remember the cone? This cone is anywhere it can go. It just has such great effects for those with surge. Surge is, small track shift of 20 miles can do so much. 20-mile track shift. In fact, that's one of my features on my presentation I do here. Let me show you. A 20-mile track shift on surge. I showed Hurricane Laura. Somewhere here. Let me see. Laura, what if? All right, so here's your actual storm surge for Laura when it went to Lake Charles versus at one time the track was expected to pass west. So the storm surge was expected to reach Lake Charles. Red would be 9 foot plus. But the storm actually shifted just a little bit. And look, none of that surge that was expected here even materialized here because we had a track shift. So all that surge ended up to the east. So if I could go off record, I would say Tampa Bay has a lot less to worry about right now with surge, according to the models. But like I said, we wait till 11 o'clock to see official. But it looks like this thing's doing the old Charlie, which was from the get-go what Mother Nature said it would do, right? Every system in the Eastern Gulf curves. And you know what that does too. That means a little more time away from this upper level shear. It means less time to weaken. So there again, there's my worry is this thing is going to still be possibly stronger on approach, meaning more inland impacts. So I think I just convinced myself I am not boarding up. So that's just me. But we're gonna have a new track change. Like I said, I would love to post that online, but I am not because we have a new update coming at 11, and I am not going to go against the NHC and scare people and make people think in Tampa that it's not going to bring the surge until we know for sure from the NAC. But that to me is very interesting. Where did my thing go? Where did you go? I lost my graphic. But that's interesting, right? Very interesting. So, all right. I went over everything. I got to take a break. But again, this is what we're watching for at 11 o'clock. We're going to watch for any track shifts south. We're going to see if this line moves south. I suspect this line is going to end up down south of Sarasota. I bet you go smack dab over Sarasota. Right here. I would almost bet money that the NH that we're going to see a tick south again. And this is verifying it down here. The eye is exiting. You know, this is that's the expected 2 o'clock position, and it's already here. So, we will see. All right. So, hey, guys, thanks a lot. Shelly's fourth goodbye. Talladega was supposed to happen. We were supposed to be leaving today. I cannot believe it. But I would not want to leave knowing what we were going to come home to. So, I want to make sure I'm here to track this thing with everybody 24/7. It's my passion. I believe it or not, I have more fun doing this than getting drunk on Talladega Boulevard. And that's fun. So I'm here with you. The only thing is we might not be doing many lives. I don't know yet. We'll just watch for schedules. I am getting ready to get the truck ready. My brew crew, man, I got my tubs set up from last year. You guys hooked me up, remember, with all the supplies and safety equipment. I have that. I got my OSR jacket I'm going to whip out. Tammy hooked me up. I look official. Except it's kind of hot to wear it, but so yeah, watch for me. Maybe later tonight I might start streaming live, do a test. I'm not reading the wobbles, Dustin. Totally right. That's what I'm saying. It's way too early to speculate anything. Just like I said, the 06 GFS or Euro came out, right? Everybody, this is what I love about the weather world, and it's cool. You guys are passionate. I love it. We get a new model run. It's like when everything was going to the Panhandle, it's like, oh, it's over. All my friends around here, it's over. It's going to the Panhandle, right? I mean, 3-4 days ago, we heard people randomly, oh, didn't you hear it's going to the Panhandle? They react to every model run, and you cannot get emotional with every model run. You can't say, oh my God, it's over, or oh my God, it's coming. So, they know best. They know the upper level steering patterns at this point. That's the name of the game, is what's driving it. How strong is that high pressure expected to build in? Where's the weakness? But other than the 6Z GFS, most of them are showing a turn eastward a little more. Some of the actual, let's see, how far out does it go here? I don't even know how far. Let's see. I don't think the Euro for some reason goes out that far on. Oh, it did. All right, well, here you go. I wonder if I go to Florida. I don't think I can zoom into Florida, maybe. Let me see, Florida. There's my pop. For some reason, I started popping this year. I don't know where that came from. Emily is on her way to Graham's house to park her car. See, it only goes out 30 hours on Florida. Now I just learned something. So that's why. It only goes out 30 on the specific Florida run. So now we'll go back to southeast. Let's look at it this way. See if we can go 90. No, that's the wrong one. We're going to. Yeah, we can go 90. All right, so here's this is the 06Z. Now the only thing I'm questionable on this is, well, the straight's better. Never mind. Oh, this only goes 30 hours too. Darn it. This is more higher resolution though, so maybe the straight's right. That was the. All right, so let's just go back to Gulf of Mexico. Sorry. Jesus, is so bad. I know. All you're hearing is click, 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 click. So what we're looking at are individual model runs. This is the Euro. It comes out 6 hours a day now. And we're going to, we're watching. This one just came out. And it's showing landfall just south of Tampa Bay. The important thing to show here is this. It almost stops. Here's tomorrow, early morning. They already announced you're going to start feeling hurricane force winds later today. And anybody in hurricane warning areas today along the West Coast, you're going to start feeling hurricane force winds as early as tonight. But this is what the latest Euro does. It kind of stops. 9:57. So, but then it kind of pulls it north. And what's important about that? That's almost 24 hours. Check this out. This is Wednesday 18Z. This is Wednesday evening tomorrow. Watch what happens. That's Thursday evening. It doesn't move, man. That's that 30, 40 inches of rain that's showing up on the GFS. This thing ain't moving. And this is going to be pounding winds, 24 hours of constant winds. Trees cannot hang on to 24 hours of constant winds. So that's something to watch. Latest Icon. They have an 18Z or 6Z. Let's see what the Icon said. Oof, it's really going south. It's been the most east, now south of all of them. That's the latest Icon. Almost in the Fort Myers area. The latest UK. We haven't done this one yet. Let's check it out. 00Z. Fort Myers area. Look at that. UK, Fort Myers. And latest GFS 6Z was kind of Fort Myers. Man, we're going to see a track change south. It is going to go south. Right? It's going to go south. And I don't know how much we're really going to see weakening. Yeah, you're right. John, you're right. There's no point even looking at long-range models anymore. Because now it's what's happening in real time. You're right. So that's why we have the cone, and we're going to be watching these hurricane hunters and what they see. And I think they're going to start doing daily or hourly updates. Right? All right. All right, well, listen, I do a little work, I guess. 11 a.m., very important. My phone's going off. I keep getting warnings, surge warnings, hurricane warnings, evacuation warnings. So I'm sure yours are too. This should be the time that you're preparing and deciding what you're going to do. The window is shrinking as far as the time to prepare. I appreciate all the emails I get. Oh, what the hell is this? Fox News interview. Huh. That's pretty cool. Hey, I just got an offer to do an interview with Fox News. That's pretty neat. I guess I better reply to that one, huh? Well, that's pretty cool. All right, so we'll see what that says all about. All right, let's just wait for the update here. How about that? I know everybody's anxiously waiting for that update, for sure. And it'll probably be out in about 15, 20 minutes. So, we'll see what you guys are saying. We are streaming live, by the way, on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And I'm sure people will start slamming their F5s pretty soon to getting the updated information. So some timelines coming up. We're going to have a new update from NHC at 11. 12 o'clock we start getting the model runs in. 2 o'clock we'll get the Euro run in. We'll get a new, we might start getting daily, hourly updates now that hurricane hunters are out there coming. Yeah, it's getting real. Hubbard, what do you think, Dylan Hubbard? I got a story for, me and Dylan Hubbard have a story to tell, man. Guess it'd be good to show our buddies here at Decks and Docks. So we got some Dylan, you might be able to help me on this a little bit too. We're going to be doing some informative videos on safety, boat safety, docking, things that every Floridian and people living in the South need to know. These are the experts. Huge company here in the South providing service and materials for docks here. And me and Dylan had a story, which I've shared before, but we were tracking Ada, and dumb us, we're walking on the dock when the surge was coming up, and one of the waves came up, I remember, and it rippled the dock, and the dock disappeared. We're on the dock, and we ran like we just saw a mouse. It was the most... I think we screeched, Dylan. I think we ran on our tippy toes, like we were... we were like, what the... So we didn't go on the dock anymore. Never go on a dock during a storm surge incident. But yeah, it was not fun. It was fun, kind of fun. Wasn't fun, but wasn't really fun. Definitely don't recommend any boating right now. That's for darn sure. So yeah, we're gonna see east. We're gonna see east. Tampa Airport is closing. Heck yeah, they're gonna close. They're under a hurricane warning. For sure. So yeah, now that the storm's over, did you say we? There's. I'm sure we threw out a few cuss words too. So if you didn't know, Dylan, he runs the John's Pass Marina down there, and maybe I'll go see him. I have a feeling though. I have a feeling we're gonna be driving a little south if we want to intercept the storm. Just remember, Skyway bridges close. A lot of this stuff. So we're waiting. We were just sharing a dock story, so that was fun. Getting a lot of people's feedback on the dock story. We drive by two of them here in Oldsmar, and they just replace them. And Sarah always sees them and says, "Oh, you got a new dock," because I think Ada ripped them apart. We are home here in Oldsmar, so they just put up two new docks. So. But anyway, so stick around even after the storm, guys. We go live almost every day. We have a lot of fun. We have some fun stuff planned. I know Decks and Docks, we're doing, now that it's on there, we're going to be doing a Yeti. I think it's a Yeti. We're doing a cooler giveaway. We've done raffles in the past. Furman, we did a generator raffle. That was so much fun and feedback. We're going to be doing a cool cooler giveaway pretty soon, custom wrapped, that you'll want to be in, and it's all free. Sponsors, supporters of our page do stuff like that, so we're excited. And like I said, we're going to be doing some videos with some dock safety and stuff you might not know about. Living in Florida, I have a boat. I need to learn because I went somewhere and tried to dock between the four pilings, and it was comical. As soon as I got the one, I missed the other, and then I had to push off the back, and it was not. It was. I even Googled how to do it, and I still failed. It was very comical, embarrassing, and of course, me and Julie got on our typical relationship reality. Vivian, there you go. Seawalls and docks. Somebody told me that when Irma, all the water was drained out of Irma for our storm, that there was a lot of seawalls that weren't really all that great a shape, and a lot of discovery was made when Irma sucked all that water out of the bay. And, we could have the same situation, man. If this thing goes to our south here in Tampa Bay, we might be dealing with reverse surge again, where the water gets blown out of the bay, depending if this does track south. I'm riding it out, Kenny. Hubbard said, couples that can dock a boat together can stay together. Nothing tests a friendship or a relationship more than that. Lots of flights are canceled. Rich, so far there's no signs that this is going to be a hurricane for North Carolina. It's going to weaken and mainly just bring rains to you. Alan, 99% of our family evacuated, yes. Me, no. And if you're down in South Florida right now, you're definitely getting tremendous amount of action so far from this system, and you can expect that all day today and more tonight. See, we've already had tornado warnings. So there's South Florida. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Look at that sucker, man. Oof. That's the current look. So our eye is clear as day over the water. And look at that. These are going to start spiraling in, man. These storms are only going to get more intense out here. We can see these bands starting to set up. These are strong bands of storms and rains coming in or wrapping around our system. They're going to be impacting South Florida later today for sure. You can see that happening now already. Strong tropical systems always pull from the south and bring in a lot of extra storms. You can kind of see the shear up top here getting pushed away. Sometimes that helps the system actually intensify. There hasn't been a track shift yet. Right now, the official line is still technically through Tampa Bay, believe it or not, right through the Tampa Bay. And this is where we watch the hurricane hunters, man. They're going to be, the dogs are going with the girls. Trust me. I have nobody here. I'll be unattended. I have not found any probability maps. Sometimes the Weather Channel has those. I'll have to look. It looks like I will be on. I'm waiting for the update. I'd be sitting here anyway, so. James said he just drove through a band in Lauderdale. Bill says it looks like it's jogging west. Well, if it is, that's because these things wobble. I think there are some good sites here that really zoom in on some radar. I think it was we haven't been on it this year. Due page. Let's see if they have a really high resolution satellite. Let's see, they usually have a floater on the storm, which they do. Sometimes they're 1 minute. There you go. That's really high resolution. It's almost too it doesn't have any. It's too short of a time frame to notice any movement, but it shows you the what it looks like. You can really see it. I mean, clear as day, right? I mean, that is about as classic of a hurricane as you can get right now. The eye wall is massive. I expect the wind field to really expand. Again, prompting the NHC to be concerned about who really gets what, I mean, just for an example, I mean, look at the eye. The eye technically is about the same size as Tampa Bay, if you think about it. I just drew right over Tampa Bay, Pinellas County. That's a big eye. And I mean, it's going to intensify now that it's over water that's hot. Oh, I just got a message. Oh, Blake, that was on a Google Radar site. Google Radar right here, Google Radar. If you click Google Radar, and then you got to go over here to open it up big time, and you can go over here to layers, hit active tropic tracks, and there you go. And you can see, man, I don't know that really, I mean, that's a pretty big shift if that's the case, but there you go. That's our data point that was supposedly 2 o'clock. There it is now. There was our fix at 8 o'clock. So definitely a big jog to the east. That might really change things up here at 11 o'clock. What was that site? That was here. Somebody's asking about our dock site. Right here. Dexon Dock. So I got a hat right here, actually. Sarah, for some reason, loves this hat. It's sitting right here. Sarah wears it all the time. She wore it to school the other day. She was representing. She loves the boat. Who doesn't love the boat, right? Sarah. Oh, phone's ringing. That might be Pinellas County. Sometimes they call when there's an emergency. Remember to turn your sprinklers off. Yes. That's weird. No. All right, so we're waiting on 11 o'clock. Somebody just asked where did I get the graphic? This is the graphic. These are graphics I made. These are stuff I found, did research on with storm surge. See, remember Irma one time was projected to cross over. I got some water here. Irma one time was supposed to cross Tampa Bay at 5 to 8 feet. Remember that? And it turned. At one time, we were under a storm surge of 5 to 8 feet. And it turned. Charlie turned. They all turned. The farther west that it went would tell you where it would end up. And that's what we're seeing right now. So let's see. We're seeing. Drum roll. Drum roll. Drum roll. I saw, let's see, who else can we, I think the crew from OSR's in town, Tammy Kent. If you are, text me. I know Lodging Solutions is in town. I think Jason's in town with Coastal Claims. I believe so. I saw a lot of people supporting our windstorm products, which is great. Hopefully everybody's boarded up that needs to be boarded up. If you were holding off boarding up south of Tampa Bay, you might be changing your mind if this thing shifts south. The interesting track here, it looks like it shifted left or east. Very curious. Very curious. Anybody got any hurricane parties planned? Not endorsing them. Trust me. Someone said strap boats to trailers. I don't know about that. Again, I don't know. Oh, it's up, Dylan says. There is a lot of great boating information on storms that, like I said, we're going to put together a series of videos with no, it didn't come up. Nope, not yet. Maybe the discussion's up. We're going to put a series of those little video clips together from decks and docks and help everybody with boat preparedness and boat safety. And this would, for the next storm. We haven't even gotten into October yet. October is supposed to be the time of the month that we get, or the time of the year that we get these type of storms, right? We still have October to go. There's been a lot of storms in the month of October. So maybe we'll get those videos out and then we can worry about the boats. But we're waiting on 5 o'clock somewhere. What's up with this? It's stuck on 5 a.m. Come on. I got to text Drew back. I think they want me on the show today. Garabo. Where's my phone? Man, I get a lot of... So we're patiently waiting here. Hey, Drew. Heck yeah, what time? What time? I'm sure it's on Twitter. So everybody on Twitter gets it before the news agencies get the data plotted to them before you actually see it on the NHC site. Kind of bugs me. NHC sends out... there's Levi. He's going to do a video here within the next couple hours. Direct landfall to Central West Florida, Ms. Levi says. Nothing yet. Waiting on that all-important 11 o'clock advisory. This might be the one that seals the deal, and we know where this sucker is going, hopefully. We'd like to see that track extremely tight here. Any parties? Anybody reply back with any good ABC parties? Tonight's the night. If you're going to have one, tonight is the night. Because tomorrow it starts going downhill. Becky, how about that? What is the best hurricane choice of drink, I wonder? I don't know if Publix is open. 2 serious parties. I get you, Lisa. Albert said the hurricane party started already. Just updated on the Weather Channel. All right. Well, here we go. Here comes that east shift. Let's see it. I got to start closing some windows here real quick. Hopefully I don't have to board up any windows real quick. We go from... Nope, they didn't post. Did they? 11 o'clock? No, they usually put the discussion out first. Public advisory hasn't been updated. I don't think it's updated yet. They usually throw the public advisory or discussion out first before they post any graphics. So I don't think that the 11's out yet. We're waiting. Hurricane drink, lemonade, public subs, Tito's. I showed you this last night, but this is the great support we got. So Satmoto right here sent me a satellite phone. Look at that. Thank them very much. We'll be taking them on the road with us in case we need to make any phone calls. Yeah, for sure. So Drew, if you're watching, you could, Drew, if you're watching, you could email and I can say yes. So we're watching for a shift south, possibly. Yeah, sat phone, I don't know. Sounds good to have, though, right? The Weather Channel is presenting the 11 o'clock advisory now. Well, it's 11 o'clock. They probably are waiting on it, too. I've seen them sometimes. That's what they'll lead in on a story, bringing you the 11 o'clock advisory, but it's not out yet. They're probably waiting on the hurricane hunters making that last pass here. Getting that last little data here. Ha! Mr. Beavis. That's a lot there, man. I wish I could join you. I don't think I'd be storm chasing, though. No Waffle House closing yet. Someone told me there's an official tracking of the Waffle Houses that they use to actually measure storm damage. Like, there's a Waffle House tracker, and they could tell damages of a storm based on Waffle Houses that are closed. They have a storm central, I know, at Waffle House, but it's ingenious, right? If you got an area that gets hit by a storm and you're curious what kind of damage they got, if your Waffle House is closed, then you know they got damage. Oh, they do have it now. Okay, everybody's got it now. Okay, well, let me refresh. Here it comes. Drum roll. Here we go, 11 o'clock. So, 11 o'clock. The latest is adjusted to the southeast. Here we go. Oh my goodness! Biggest point, huge point. It's gonna intensify again. I think it's gonna go up to 130. Look, forecast adjusted to the southeast, showing landfall 6 to 12 hours faster. That's because it turned. Now it's closer to Florida than it is if it would have stayed out over water. Big changes right here. Big changes. So it did indeed go quite a bit south. And landfall now is earlier than expected. 8 hours earlier. So yeah, it's turning. I knew it. 966. Yeah, it weakened some over Cuba. Yeah, so they're expecting an earlier landfall because it's going to be closer to the state now than longer over the water. So it's shifted south. That's the 8. Yeah, I know. I'm waiting on it. I just have it here because I'm waiting on it to update. This is not the new one. The discussion is, though. And this is a very big key point right here. The latest adjustment has now to the southeast, showing landfall 6 to 12 faster than before. I don't know. Notable trend toward a hurricane remaining more intact up through landfall, meaning stronger system at landfall, which makes sense, right? It's going to remain strong. It's not going to weaken before landfall. Extremely dangerous hurricane landfall. Man, they extended hurricane watches farther south. So good news is for me, I don't have to board up. Selfishly me, right? All right, let's see the 11. Come on, they always take forever to post the 11 graphic. Let's go. Let's go. All right, I'm gonna burn up my F5. F5. You know, maybe the sometimes I sneak a peek over here and see if they added it here. See if it's that one. Drum roll. Oh, it says 11. This is the 11. It's on this one. It ain't on the regular graphic yet. But here's, they don't have the center line yet. Oh, they do. Look at that. Look at that. New landfall. Sarasota. Venice. Major hurricane. Landfall now, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. There you have it. Big shift again. Not far from Tampa. I mean, it's still not far. That's really not a big shift if you think about it, but it is a shift. It did shift again. It's below Sarasota. Significant change for surge coming, though. Surge values for Tampa are going to be reduced a lot. That's the biggest change. Surge now is going to be increased a lot more for down here, Port Charlotte, Cape Coral. So that's pretty big changes. Now, another thing too, though, look, hurricane inland, 85-mile-an-hour hurricane near Lakeland. It's going to weaken to a storm, 70 mile an hour in Orlando. So not a lot of weakening here. We'll have a hurricane and a storm. But the big thing is this is going to be 8 p.m. tomorrow night. 8 p.m. Wow. All right. So I'm going to wait for the graphic. You just saw it. I need to type everything up. You want to see the whole map? The whole map is this. I'm going to turn off the storm surge warnings because it's easier to see. Yeah. Big as I can make it right there. So what do strong systems do? They turn east. Now it's going to be a storm, but we got tropical storm warnings now for the East Coast extended northward through Jacksonville now. So, and it's still going to be a storm all the way through Georgia. Look at that. So there you go. A shift south and a shift east, bringing effects more inland even more, and maybe a little more rain and wind to the north. So that's it. Maps updated now. Cool. So you guys, you guys don't need me. You guys have everything there. All right. 3-day. There we go. All right. Look at that. Well, we'll do the 5-day. We'll bring it in big here. So there's the new map. I'll just leave it there for a second. So look at that. Tropical storm warnings now for a big chunk of the East Coast. Hurricane warnings remain in Pinellas County. Same. Looks like they didn't drop any warnings. Major hurricane expected at landfall tomorrow night. And they kind of hinted that maybe we could have even more shifts. But there you go. Like I said, when this is all said and done, I'm going to draw the Charlie track on exit of Cuba and the Ian track on the exit of Cuba, and we'll see if they maintain that same bend up. So there you go, guys. All right. Well, again, listen to all your local, METs, all your local emergency management, your counties. They're your best bet right now, finding out what zone you're in, what evacuations, and that's all I can tell you about that. So that's it. All right. So I'm done. That was 2 hours. Yeah, I got it, Stephanie. Yep, we got it. We will see you. So I'll be updating frequently. Just not sure what our live schedule is going to be for later tonight, if we do one or not. So I'll let you know. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right. Be safe out there and take this serious. Still a major hurricane. Lots of rain. Lots of inland effects are coming. Still very serious storm. All right. Be good, y'all.